morning, everybody. January 26th here in beautiful Pineapple, South Carolina. My name's Rob, and this is Boating the Low Country. Today's a little different. We had some snow this week, so boating is out of the question right now. Boat's still covered in snow, and the water that I didn't remove is now a block of ice, so I'm taking the boat out today. But Charleston Boat Show is in town, so we were going to take a ride out, check that out. And since I'm a current Key West owner, we will see what Key West has to offer. I've heard there's two new models, 239 FSR, and there's also a 260cc. Curious to see what upgrades they've made. As any boat owner knows, there's always things that you'd like to see improved upon. And from the little bit that I've seen online, it looks like they have made a lot of those improvements. So let's go check it out. Stopping at Johnny's Red Taco, which is, haven't been there yet. We'll let you know how it is. Johnny's Red Taco on the corner of Ladson and Highway 78. 2 thumbs up. If you've ever been to the Charleston Boat Show, outside of having a ton of boats to look at, they've got just about everything else you could think of too. The vendors are all over the place, inside, outside. There's golf carts, there's stereo mods, cleaning supplies, everything you could think of, on top of having every boat you could ever dream of. I grabbed a Towboat US subscription while I was at the boat show. Met some really great people too. We stopped to take a look at this Pioneer Pelagic 270. Definitely caught my eye. It's a gorgeous boat. Pioneers has great fit and finish, so we wanted to check out their new flagship. And definitely wasn't disappointed. The center console is very nice, well appointed. Everything is where you expect it to be. Nothing too crazy. The upholstery was really nice. The bolstered seats were very nice as well with the flip ups. The 2 overhead compartments were a nice touch, although being 6'4", I was not a fan of how close the back one was to the front because it ended up hitting my head. The tuck away backrests are a great touch. Not a huge fan of the cooler underneath the console seat, but it's a great place for it, so I can understand. Typical windlass setup. Kind of surprised with the manual vent on the console, but not too bad either way. Very well laid out inside the console. Very clean setup. Everything's where you need it to be to get access to it. Plenty of room for a head or a porcelain setup. I can almost stand up in there. This Bull's Bay caught my attention. It's a good size, 25 foot. The price was definitely what got my attention at just under 120 for 25 feet. And any center console is pretty good. Boat has nice lines, not much of a Carolina flare on it, but with the twin Yamaha 200s, it should plenty of power for this boat. The swim platform and live well were nice. Upholstery was generally nice. For a budget-minded boat, this, there was definitely some good features on it. Flip-up bolsters for the leaning post, armrests, acrylic dash. Tuckable backrests were nice. Nice touch for a boat in this price range. The only thing I wasn't a fan of was that under the seat cooler. Standard anchor locker, nothing to talk about there. Again, that under seat cooler, not a fan. Center console was decent. The wiring was fairly nicely managed, and nothing too crazy to talk about in there. This had me puzzled. The overhead bin was a bit shallow, maybe 4 inches. It'd be tough to fit a VHF up there. Under gunnel storage for your rods. All in all, nice little boat. This Invincible was just gorgeous. 36 open fisherman. Talked to the guy. He said that to add a decent electronics package with radar, a couple MFDs, will probably run you around the 25K mark. On top of that, 516-ish. So keep that in mind. But the fit and finish on this thing was gorgeous. Don't mind the mess. These boats were left out during the snow, and they weren't forced to be able to take their shoes off, so they got pretty trashed. But plenty of storage on this thing. Great windlass setup. The coffins style center console there was phenomenal. The console itself was huge, plenty of room, super clean. Layout was amazing. Upholstery on this thing was great. Just an awesome, phenomenal boat. I am a sucker for anything in gray and black, and those blacked out Suzukis on the back of this thing definitely caught my eye. Just the layout overall on this boat was sweet. Not a huge fan of the hammered metal look on the T-top and rocket launchers, but the fabric on this boat was really nice. Not your typical marine grade vinyl. Had a nice luxury feel to it, if you will. Definitely a little more high end. Interesting windlass setup on this one. Huge floodlight on that T-top. Here's a little close up of that fabric. I mean, don't mind the boat. It is a mess from the weather, but console was nice, decent size. You could step down in there easily. I probably could stand up in that one. Just well laid out and done nicely. Definitely feeling the gray and the black on this. Nice little cubby to store your phone, keep it out of the weather. The light wells are pretty nice on this. They had like spillover channels so that you don't make as much of a mess, I would assume. That's the idea behind it. Just really nice lids, nice friction hinges, plenty of rod holders on this boat. The convenience center on the back of the leaning post was a nice touch too. Just overall nice boat. And if you want the convenience of a pontoon boat with the quirks of a jet boat and the looks of Tupperware, there was this. Not my cup of tea, but hey. Since my wife is a fan of the dual console setups, I'm not a hater. Definitely has their benefits, but we had to check out these couple of pursuits over here. This one was the dual console setup. Real nice boat. Fit and finish is phenomenal. Great head compartment. Just love the stowaway seating on this. Little wet bar was a nice touch. Was hoping for a fridge in this little container, but nothing. Overall nice. So then we hopped on the center console next to it. I believe they're both in the 28-foot range. This had the sunroof in the T-top, which I thought was kind of a neat touch. Again, upholstery, fit and finish on this was great. Full windlass setup on this as well with Sirius satellite radio. This was probably my favorite part, is how the center console worked. And you enter and exit from the front, and there was plenty of room in there. I could definitely fit in there, and I'm 6'4", so again, huge leaning post with the fold-up bolsters. Just really good setup, clean, nothing overly fancy, but just well done. Pursuit really does a great job. Getting out on the water with your family or fishing, this boat can definitely get you there. I am a big fan of Scout boats. I just love the way they look. I mean, they have their haters out there, but I had to hop on this 377 LXF. This thing was just amazing. Fit and finish on it's phenomenal. You can't beat the electronics package that this boat has. The center focus driving station on this center console is great, giving you just awesome views everywhere. The forward area is just gorgeous. Again, the hideaway table on the floor, everything's built in, backrest, the huge coffin style center seating area. The actual console itself was huge. 6'4", and I'm standing up. I mean, it's kind of pretty wild though. All on the center console. I mean, this boat is definitely built for, taking trips to the Bahamas and Bimini and things like that. You'd have no problems doing it. Great weekender. Just a phenomenal boat. The next one up was the 260 LXF. Great center console. Just love the lines on Scout boats. And, again, the haters are out there, but I think the fit and finish on these boats is phenomenal. They just know where to put things between the convenience center on the back of the leaning post to the actual center console itself. Everything's just where you'd expect it to be. Well placed, well laid. Again, quality, fit and finish is, second to none. The forward seating area is very accommodating, and plenty of storage underneath the coffin. The center console, immaculate, like not a single wire shown, everything is hidden away. Very clean setup. Again, the center console, just, they know what they're doing. Nice live well. Plenty of space behind the center console with the seat up. Could get a little tight with that seat down on family days, but storage, built-in garbage, tuna door, the huge swim platforms on the Scouts is great. You can easily walk across the whole thing, no problem. And now to the model we've all been waiting for, the 239 FSR from Key West. This is a brand new model based off of an existing model, the 239 FS. The differences on this one are pretty substantial though. The T-top and the T-top frame are completely different than the regular 239. The 239 has a two-wheeler frame. This is definitely a little squared around the console. I believe the console is still the same, but the framework, the glass around the T-top and the overhead compartments, the actual T-top itself, everything about it is brand new. Definitely upgrades that most of us who own the 239 FS would be happy to have. on our 239s. The windlass on this is nice. The upholstery has been stepped up a lot since 2017. That's the year my boat is. It's got the light up Fusion speakers, which I'm not too familiar with Fusion. The console's identical to my 2017. The wiring may be a little nicer now than it was back then, but it still had those horrible curtains to cover everything, which I just think is, I don't know, the lazy way to do it. The fit and finish on the upholstery is just so much nicer on these newer ones. Again, all new T-top with the forward and aft overhead compartments. Also has 4 speakers instead of the 2 on the standard 239 FS. I'm 6'4". I had no problem standing between the 2 overhead consoles without banging my head, which I did experience on some of the other boats. Overall, just definitely some awesome improvements, and not to mention the big honking Yamaha 350 off the back of the boat. It's just the icing on the cake. The leaning post is just nicely done. Cup holders, rocket launchers, tackle storage, sink. I mean, everything you'd want in a leaning post. They just did a really good job on upgrading this one. This is the other model we're here to see. This is the Key West 260cc. If anyone knows anything about the CC lineup from Key West, this is their more deep sea friendly lineup. Much higher gunnels forward of the console, and just a much more of a Carolina flare on the bow, just giving you a drier, nicer ride. The downside to it is you get a little less forward space in the bow area. Still plenty of room. Great platforms to fish off of from the tops of the gunnels. As you can see up here, there's plenty of room up there to catch your line and get on some big fish. Nice wide console on the 260. You fit 2 people easily there. The color on this thing's insane. My wife was not a fan of it. She thought it was too much. I kind of liked it. And the fabric, this was definitely unique. It had more of a texture to it, kind of a, I don't know what you want to call it, just a very, very nice, almost wood grain texture to it. And you can kind of see it there. Just like I said, the Key West has come a long way with their upholstery. My 2017, just it's not as nice as this. But yeah, this is the 260. Nice boat, gorgeous setup. I would not have any complaints with this boat. Flip up bolsters on the leaning post. Standard Key West setup on the console. Nice dual overhead compartments for your VHF and any other electronics you may have, or just pew storage. Typical MFDs setup. The only thing I'm not a fan of is they still kept the standard windshield on this model. They did upgrade like they did on the 239 FS. The rear overhead is nice to have, that's for sure. And you've got your rocket launchers on the back. But this is definitely a nice convenience center, if you will, with the cooler underneath and the sink and some storage. Will definitely come in handy on those long days out on the water. Overall, great boat. This is Key West's flagship model right now, the 291 FS. Same family as the 239 FS, FSR, 263 FS, and the 291 FS. This is their big dog, and as you can see, it's big. Very nice setup. Still kind of the classic setup with the tubular T-top frame attached to the console. Very large, wide console though, so you can fit, large MFDs in this thing, if not, more than two. You have storage underneath the seat, storage underneath the step there. Typical Key West layout. Otherwise, up front, you've got plenty of bow seating. Very nice setup with built-in backrest, so you don't have to worry about removing anything. Dual station for the console seating with armrests, and I believe there is storage underneath there too. Up top, you've got your basic Key West T-top. This boat was equipped with windlass, speakers everywhere, rod and cup holders everywhere. And we jump into the center console real quick, and it's a typical Key West. Still has that curtain. It's one thing I wish they would really upgrade, do differently. I mean, it's easy access, which is good, but they just don't hold up over the years. You got to see, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, that thing starts to look pretty rough. The pockets start to fall off. It's a mess. But we run to the stern real quick, and you can see the wraparound seating for that back bench is nice. You get the live wells. The tuna doors on these are great. They're not really tuna doors. They're more of a step in. They actually fold down into the boat, giving you easy ingress onto the vessel. The seating on the back of the leaning post has plenty of tackle storage and whatever else you may need. It also could double as a workstation, so it's a pretty cool setup. And when you're underway, you need somewhere to sit, you can have your passengers sitting back there too. Very large T-top, plenty of room for your radar, outriggers, whatever else you want to throw up there. You got rod holders in the back too. Definitely a very nice setup by Key West. And the 2025 Charleston Boat Show is over. Had a good time, got to see a lot of cool stuff. Was impressed with the new stuff from Key West, and think it'll be a good seller this year. So if you like this kind of content and you're interested in exploring the Low Country and Lake Marion, Lake Moultrie, Charleston Harbor, the Stono, Wapu Cut, Cooper River, and everything in between, stick around. Drop a like on this video, subscribe, and hopefully in the next video we'll be out in this guy hitting some waves, getting wet. So if you like it, stick around. See you in the next one.